We didn't sit around, man. We was at work up there smoking a chop on lunch, man. Yeah, I said it, a chop, nigga. And Rick Myers beat me. He's like, we gonna do some of this, and well, you know, this is pretty much the first thing that came to mind. This right here, and I said, I can't fucking deny that I stay fly. From my shoes to my ride. That's why y'all some bitch ass haters. I can't fucking deny that I stay fly. From my shoes to my ride. That's why y'all some bitch ass haters. I stay fly high to the fucking sky. Bird city, answer haters' questions. Why? Shoes all white, she called me crispy clean. Pockets money stuff, she called them Krispy Kreme. Holy shit, got a wallet having a wet dream. Y'all stay hating cause I'm more.
Yeah, you are on High Tide Stick with the Doc MistaTre. We are in the house having some fun. We got some good topics today to cover. We also got Presence calling in. She's going to talk to us. It's going to be what it's always going to be with her. It's going to usually be about weed or weed and sex. It's what it is. So,
That I stay fly from my shoes to the sky. That's why y'all some fucking haters. I can't fucking deny that I stay fly from my shoes to the sky. That's why y'all some bitch ass haters.
Looking through the lens of my fucking sunglasses, and all I see around me is some fucking haters. So I tell rappers straight to watch his body language. Get a look at Thomason, can't they try to play us? Man, you know he's lying, you the land pavement. Money in your mind, don't care about the pavement.
we having some technical difficulties here. Can't hear nothing. But anyway, so we got several subjects in line here as we await President's call. She'll be calling here any minute, a couple minutes away. It is, of course, Great Scott, 21.1 gigawatts. It's Back to the Future Day. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm about that Back to the Future Day. Because, Back to the Future Day is dope. So it is Back to the Future Day. That's right, October. It is effectively October 21st, 2015. The date, as I like to call it. Yeah. That's the date, from Back to the Future. When Marty McFly goes to the future and he sees his future, it's on September or October, rather. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's in October. It's on October 21st, 2015. So we got a lot going on. Like I said, we got a lot of fun stuff for you today. A lot of good subjects. 7 of the most surprising uses for cannabis is another topic we're going to be going over today. And then Stiletto Stoners, why more women are choosing cannabis over alcohol. And, so it's kind of like a little bit of a ladies' day here for all my shorties out there.
Under the shade, can't deny, I say fly, gotta keep it A-grade.
So all my chica bonitas out there, this is all about you today. The stories kind of coincide with female living and lifestyle. Uh-oh, here we go. What's up, lady?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I was just talking about you.
Are
I was
you talking about how it's freezing ice goes cold here?
Oh yeah, no, I did see that though. I was like, oh snap, Pikes Peak's on a grind. It's snowing up there in the mountains. Oh no. And then I remembered I was in beautiful sunny Florida and had nothing to worry about.
You know what? You can fight me. It's not nice to be a hater.
You're gonna be a hater today?
Yeah, I think everybody is being a hater from the start today. I'm going to go back to bed.
Right? I can promise you that they hate us because they ain't us. But no, I'm really about to go to the beach too.
Wait, did you say you're going to the beach?
Yes, as soon as the show's over.
I thought you were my friend.
I'm sorry, say it again. Say it again.
Who, me?
Yeah, did I lose you? Oh, okay, I got you.
I was like, I can't believe you're going to the beach. We're stuck in here in the rain and the cold. All we're doing all day long is trim.
That's dope though. Like you guys are in trim season, like it's crop season up there for pot, and that's cool though. I dig that.
You have, I mean, you have an idea, but a lot of people just have no idea the amount of weed that is happening right now in Colorado, especially since it got cold. Like in the last couple of days, everybody up in the mountains is just cutting everything and pulling everything.
I bet.
And I'm like,
It's that time of year. I like this time of year up there though.
I had infused French fries the other day.
Infused fries?
Yes, and it was wonderful. Because,
Okay, so I'm into edibles. I dig edibles, but you're gonna have to explain this phenomenon of infused fries to me and my viewing audience because I'm lost.
Well, what we did to make infused French fries is we make infused vegetable oil.
Okay.
And we use the oil to fry the French fries the same as if you would, cook any other type of French fries. You just put a little oil in the bottom of the pan and throw the potatoes in there and cook them up. Well, it was so good.
Eventually, isn't all the cannabis that's in the deep fryer oil going to be gone?
Yeah, because we're not deep frying them. We're just putting them on like
you like frying them in the pan.
The cast iron skillet kind of deal, and just putting a little bit in there just to get them like, crunchy. Oh, it's so good. There's no limit to the things that you can make infused. I've had infused margaritas. I've had infused cotton candy. There's really nothing that you can't fix some pot in. Oh, it is a happy day. You want to know why it's a happy day?
Why?
See, you can go to the beach all you want. Bristol Brewing Company, for the world that's listening that doesn't know, Colorado might be famous for their cannabis, but their craft beer game is out of this world.
Oh, yes,
and
it is.
Today, Winter Warlock, which happens to be my favorite beer, comes out, and if you add some cannabis oil to your dark beer, your life is so vastly improved.
Oh wow! So that's one thing that I think that you may know about out here is that Tampa has quite the brew game too.
I happen to be drinking out of my Florida Brewers Guild cup right now.
Yeah, that was something that I actually found to be very interesting. Actually, is that Tampa does have quite a considerably reputable microbrewing community here.
Oh, it absolutely does. In February, they had this huge beer festival right in Ybor. And for those that also don't know, Ybor is one of the few places in the world, other than Cuba, to get authentic hand-wrapped Cuban cigars, and they take a lot of Tampa. It's called Little where they make the cigars. So it's real nice. You can get a Brewers Guild, get some craft beer, and walk around with your Cuban cigar, and then you go over to Las Terrazas. I'm coming home.
I just seriously got like a cigar like boner right now because I went to the Sponge Docks and I went into an actual Cuban hand rolled cigar shop there in the Sponge Docks in Tarpon Springs, and it was I like to Montana.
When we're not on the radio anymore, remind me. I have a secret to tell you. I don't know why I didn't think about it before, but you're gonna love me.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. We're going to talk about that when we're not on the air. So, since you brought up some of the wonderful ways that you can infuse weed, and by the way, I just want to tell you, the edible game here, a lot of people here are kind of anti-smoking a little bit. I think it's mostly just the older community, you know, they're getting old and stuff like that, and so they quit smoking. But because I live, you know, in Gulfport, which is a little bit older community of people, and anyway, long story short, the edible game here is actually quite considerable. I was just going to tell you that. Like, I've had some brownies here, I've had some chocolates here, and the edible game here is actually, people have really done their research and are doing it right.
That's because the food in Colorado sucks.
Oh, the food game here is ridiculous. Oh my God.
Yes, I know.
Like, you can get Mackenzie's Steakhouse quality food, but you're going to pay like Black Eyed Pea or Old Chicago prices. It's ridiculous. And there's a place like 3 blocks from my house that delivers by the slice.
Oh, very nice. If you get down to eat, you have to go to La Terrazas. It's this little tiny Italian restaurant. It's probably got like maybe 5 or 6 tables in the entire joint. And the maitre d', he like really speaks Italian, and he's the kind of guy that'll give you the kiss when you walk in and stuff. It is the best food maybe in the world.
Divine. That's divine right there, because I'm telling you, that is. I grew up in Europe where that's not a bad thing. It actually it's just the culture. It's the way it is, and so it's just kind of funny.
And I love that kind of culture. And you know me, I'm either your friend, you either love me or you hate me. So I want kisses. I want you to talk to me in Italian when I come in and make me food that I can't pronounce.
All right, so are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
So the first subject I have for you in this show is there are 7 of the most unusual things that pot can be used for, okay? So number 7 is as rope to transport the Easter Island statues is one of the things it was used for. And it says, it is thought that hemp ropes made from the fibers of marijuana were used to transport the distinct giant stone statues on Easter Island. Archaeologists in 2012 even recreated the method with reproductions of the statues from the island. With the team of 18 people were able to move the stones to 328 feet using just 3 hemp ropes. Dope.
Wow, that is impressive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and we're talking, what are the Easter Island statues? At least what, 2,000 years old? Easy, 2 millennia.
They're a lot older than 1,000. But I'm gonna go with aliens put them there. Aliens put those stones there. I don't think people did that.
You know, I've seen the Ancient Aliens episode where they did cover the Easter Islands, the Easter Island theory, and I mean, it's very plausible what they say too there. I mean, so I'm kind of like, but I believe in life outside of this universe. Do you think we're that damn special? No, not even close. We're probably not even the most intelligent beings in the universe by far. By far.
Not that I would know anything about it, but if you take a large amount of mushrooms, you can actually see the different levels of the universe. Mm-hmm. Not that I've ever taken any mushrooms on top of a snowy mountain in the woods.
With a gallon of vodka. Yeah, not you, no. All right, number 6 is a deity? I don't get that. Let me make sure. Oh, a deity, excuse me. Earlier this year, cannabis became an idol of worship at the First Church of Cannabis was of course, set up in Indiana. While the church wouldn't sell what the Canatarians call the healing plant, it will allow members to smoke the substance inside. Dude, I go to church now.
My cousin is a cannabis preacher. He's an ordained minister through Green Faith Ministries here in Colorado, and I worship weed. Like, I love it. Like,
Oh, I know. The only thing that has your heart more than a man is that weed, girl.
I don't know. You kind of bad. I'm mad at the men folks today.
Oh, I know. We talked last night. I know. Well, we text talked. By the way, for my listeners, when I say we talked, that doesn't always mean we literally talked. Most of the time, that means we text, because we all peoples. But okay, so here's the next one. As legal tender, America didn't just use it for sales. It was even a form of currency at some point. After the 1690 legislation, hemp was allowed to be exchanged as legal tender in Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Maryland.
Pennsylvania has a town called Hempfield, and you can actually go see the stones where they processed the hemp on, and they did pay all of their taxes in hemp. I personally love getting paid in weed. I'm going to get paid in weed today. Yay.
That's
weed
wild.
currency.
And that's wild. And the funny thing is I don't think people understand that in Colorado, that's a fact. Like, it is absolutely a bona fide form of currency in Colorado. No doubt about it. No doubt about it in my mind.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things that I have paid for or been paid for. And
whoa. No, I'm just kidding.
Come here. You know I miss you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. But yeah, you're right though. And the funny thing is like when I would do stuff like shows, certain things for Jamin at the Speakeasy, I would tell him, I'd say, hey, look, dude, you know what? If it was something I was running, then it's the usual venue type situation, and you split the door, and you can sell tickets outside of the event. But when it was just like hosting like some small thing or some movie night or something like that, or just DJing, I'd be like, dude, you can just pay me in weed. And I was okay with that. I really was.
I've paid to get my car fixed in weed. I've paid babysitters in weed.
I haven't paid weed to babysit before. And I've paid weed to babysit. My ex, her brother, used to always watch the kids, and I'd be like, dude, that was back when I was a grower. I'd be like, dude, I got an eighth for you.
Yes, exactly. And that's they love it. You know what I mean? And we're not talking about paying children, babysitters, and marijuana folks. We are talking about paying grown people in Canada. So just throwing these out there and listening. I'm not paying my
first. We're not paying the babies. So, you weirdos out there, you understand? We're not paying babies in weed. We're paying people in weed. There's grown people. Adult consumption. All right, here we go. Number 4. Parachutes. Hemp was also used in the Second World War to make parachutes. This is while we were in Prohibition, just for the record. But anyway, in the Second World War, to make parachutes when other resources became scarce, it was, it was needed so much that the U.S. Department of Agriculture had a Hemp for Victory program that encouraged farmers to plant the hemp, giving out, and they were even giving out seeds, which is ironic because we were in a prohibition during that time.
That is weird. That is really weird.
I told you I had some fun facts.
Are you sure what year?
Well, the Second World War effort would have been there in the 1940s, and it says by 1943, by 1943, 375,000 acres of hemp had been harvested. By 1943. From a plant that was prohibited at that time. That's ironic, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
See, that's just it. Even the government knows when shit gets real, you just need a little weed.
I'm smoking a joint and drinking infused tea right now.
I already smoked, but that's because I was smoking with my cousin before I started the show. I told her, I said, should load a bowl for the show, nigga. Load a bowl for Kelly, load a bowl for the show. Why not? I like messing with her. That cousin's my cousin, my boo cousin. I love her. She really is. She's a good cousin. She's a good family member because, like, you know, you can't pick family. So if your family members are fucked up, they're fucked up. But you know, she's one that's actually a decent family member out of a lot of people that aren't. Let me tell you. I ain't gonna call y'all out on the internet and to the world because I ain't no snitch. But I'm just saying, you know who you are.
Don't be a bad family member.
Yeah, don't be a bad family member. Life's supposed to be about family and friends and love and, you know, sex and rock and roll, man. So here we go. Sales and clothing. Now we already knew this one, but you know, the fact says, believe it or not, there was an actual law in the U.S. in 1619 insisting on the growth of the hemp plant where cannabis comes from. The Virginia Assembly passed legislation that required farmers to grow it. It was used in America, which at that point was only 13 colonies, largely to make clothing and sales. And now this one I actually did know this fun fact, but as I recall, in order to plant like tea, or in order to plant, because you know tea was a big moneymaker, so was tobacco. So in order to plant tea and tobacco, you also had to plant hemp.
I did not know that. I knew they were required to grow it, but I didn't know about the tea and the tobacco.
Well, it's usually whenever they do like a requirement like that, like for instance, corn's worth quite a bit here in this country. So what they do to regulate that is they'll say if you want to have 10,000 acres of corn, then you have to have at least 5,000 acres of wheat.
That's cool. I did not know that.
There's a reason why I tell people is you don't have a farmer who just farms corn. Now he might have. By the way, it's not that big of a number. I would guarantee it. I mean, it's really something probably like a 10-to-1, where it's like if you have 10, acres of this, then you got to have one of these. But so I'm sure it's not 50% or anything like that. But if you ever notice, whenever you drive like by farms out in like middle America, you'll see like 50 fields of corn for like 10 miles, and then all of a sudden there's just poof pops up like a field of lettuce.
You know what? I used to drive across the country quite a bit before moving to Colorado, and that is absolutely right. That is exactly, especially like Ohio and that sort of stuff. And don't make that drive. It is miserable across 80.
Oh, no, I hate the 80. I'd rather ride the 10 than the 80, but the 10's just as bad though. There's some hellaciously long stretches with nothing.
Yeah.
But no, my cousin wants to go to Toledo this next year up in Ohio, where we have family from, and I'm like,
if you go to Toledo has the best margaritas in the face of the world. The edibles are, there's a place called, that's how I ended up with the dermal, was in Toledo, smoking weed and drinking margaritas.
Toledo, smoking weed and margaritas. That's a song by Jimmy Buffett, if you ask me.
Yeah, Toledo.
You can have in Toledoville.
You can have like a ridiculous amount of pot on you in Toledo. It's like 200 grams or something, some crazy number that like you could never have that much for your personal. Like, there's no way you could just be like, oh yeah, this is my personal. Yeah, maybe if you're fucking Snoop Dogg. I miss Toledo. And then you go to Toledo, then you got to go up to Detroit. And if you hit Detroit, you got to go to the Dab Wars. If you go to the Dab Wars, you can say, President sent me, and then everybody will love you.
We have an insider at Dab Wars out there in Michigan right now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, Chris Watkins has been going to Dab Wars in Michigan, up in Bay City, I believe.
You know what? I did not know that he came back and forth. If he's in Detroit, I'm gonna have
I don't know. I don't know how often he goes to Detroit, because, of course, Detroit's not the capital of Michigan. Most people in America actually don't know that.
It's Ann Arbor. Because
so a lot of the legislative stuff that he does, he's going to take him to Ann Arbor. You know what I mean?
Ann Arbor's not that far from Detroit, though.
I honestly don't know the layout that well. I just know that I've been to Lansing and East Lansing, and that's really not that far from Detroit at all.
Lansing, what's up? Give a little shout out
Shout
to
out
the
to-
Greens.
Shout out to the Mitt. I like them. Shout out to the Mitt. Why aren't you guys the Milwaukee Mitts? Mitts? No. Milwaukee is the other one. Why aren't you guys like the Detroit Mitts? That'd be great. The state looks like a mitt. No,
I don't know.
you had to let the New York Jack your ultimate logo. Now you're the Tigers. Please show me where the hell a tiger is at in Ohio, other than the zoo.
Yeah,
Or
that's
Michigan.
not. Hey, there's lions here at my house.
Yes.
Like a lion ate my cat, and that is not a metaphor. That really happened.
Oh Jesus, are you serious?
I swear to God, Kush has been missing for like 3 weeks now, and the neighborhood opinion is that he either got eaten by the lion or a bear.
Or are there coyotes up? No, there's not coyotes up that far.
Yeah, there is some wolves and stuff.
Yeah, wolves, but coyotes are gonna be down in the plains, so that's what I mean. Like wolves are up in the mountains, but I've only seen coyotes down in the plains, and you don't really see real coyote like the big ones unless you go down to like New Mexico or Arizona, because there we got them. They're huge.
I saw one up near Cripple Creek, and it might have been a coyote, it might have been a wolf. I don't know. I didn't get on the damn park.
A coyote looks like a medium-sized dog up in Colorado. A wolf looks like a very large dog.
Yeah, it looks like a Siberian Husky dog.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be a wolf. Siberian Husky, direct breed descendant of the wolf. Well, all dogs are, but it's really close to the direct descendant breed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was big. It was really big,
yeah.
and it was running down the road. And
Coyote's going to look like a golden retriever size, but of course more like they're more like their features are more predator features. Like the pointed snouts and the high back legs for to be able to be fast to catch prey.
Yeah, one of these days, everybody's going to open their Facebook to President was eaten by wolves while out hiking on mushrooms.
I lived in the mountains for like a year and a half. I did see a bear though.
Golden lion on my front porch.
I have seen mountain lions, but like the worst one though, it's so horrible. I'm like walking by in the mountains, and this is when I lived up there, and it wasn't by my house, but I rode the 4-wheel or the 3-wheeler out onto the trails, and then I got off the 3-wheeler and I was just walking around, and I'm like walking by, and there's a freaking female mountain lion sitting up on a rock, and it looked like some shit out of Lion King, like it was on Pride Rock. And I was just like, I was looking at it, and it's looking down at me, and it's kind of got that, that kind of chuffy, like that it does. And I'm like, so I turned around the other way, and as I was walking back, it kept its eye on me the whole time, and I was like, Hemna, Mama Mishima. I started singing the Lion King song to that thing.
Man, if I saw a lion up close outside like that, first I would say shit, and then I would do it. Like, I would be so afraid. Like, if being on my porch and being inside the house wasn't that bad, but I don't know. I don't want to stumble upon one.
Right? Well, like I said, for me, I'm like, I had to. But it was also high enough up that it would have had to have jumped down like 2 or 3 stories to like pounce me, which I'm sure it could. But I'm just saying, me and this lion definitely had a visual understanding that I was a waste of its time for lunch. So I sung Lion King to it as I walked away, and then I got on the 3-wheeler, and I was like, ghost, because they could keep up with that 3-wheeler until I get it up, get it really up. But at 30, 40 miles an hour, a lion's going to keep up with your 3-wheeler or your 4-wheeler.
I don't stand a chance. I'm definitely going to get eaten.
You don't run. You might as well get in the fetal position.
Listen, I want a joint and some goldfish. Let's talk about this.
That is, you know what? You might be able to win it over with a joint of goldfish. Funny enough, while Presence has lions for pets, the second fun fact about that has to do with animals, actually. It says to alleviate the pain of pets. How would you do that? Well, marijuana helps alleviate people's pain and troubles of the mind. So, as some owners think, why not help their pets too? This was currently what the owner of a 12-year-old Labrador Retriever mix named Miles, that's on the screen here, who was dying very slowly from cancer. That's what he thought to do for his pet. So after began giving him medical marijuana treatments, Miles gained back his appetite, stopped vomiting, and began walking and running, according to the American Veterinary Medical Association. So interesting enough, it could, just as well as it helps us, it could help your pet. I don't recommend that you let your pet smoke pot, though. You should probably just give it an edible.
Come here, Molly. You want to get this joint?
Molly,
No.
Molly.
Sweating.
Oh, and of course, the number one reason is killing cancer. Studies in mice and rats have shown that cannabis might help cancer treatment, according to the National Cancer Institute. Cannabis, the chemical compound in cannabinoids, the chemical compound in cannabis, may be able to kill cancer cells by causing cell death, blocking cell growth and the development of blood vessels needed by numerous tumors to grow, and protecting normal cells. And we kind of know this because I've told you a couple different times about the real zombie apocalypse theory about cells being a lot like a zombie, because they're supposed to go die and they don't die, and that's how they mutate and become this tumor or this cancer. And so cannabinoids essentially fit the profile to go tell that cell to die again.
Well, I know that you know Landon, but for the people out there listening, there's a little boy here, and he has been using cannabis for his cancer, which has been in remission, I believe. Please, I'm not his mom.
Leukemia?
Yeah, I mean, he was really sick, like really bad sick, and he's doing much better now. There was a little boy, I'm not going to say his name because he wasn't a public figure, but a little 6-year-old boy in Michigan that was sent home to die. They sent him to hospice. The doctor said there was nothing else that they could do for him, and the great mighty Peter the Tool stepped up, and he saved that little boy's life. He saved them through cannabis oil, and, you know, a lot of people can say whatever they want about, pot or whatever, but when a man like Peter O'Toole, who's not a doctor, he'll tell you he's not some great healer. If he can step in and save a little boy when the oncologist sent a little home to die, that's really something. And you can learn to help to cure yourself through cannabis. I am famous for how much I hate the cook. Everybody knows about it. And I can make cannabis oil safely. I do not use butane. I use an Everclear double boil, and it really does help a lot of people. The gentleman that I make it for, he has seizures, and he was a non-believer. He was 40 years old, had never smoked pot, done a single drug in his life. He was pretty anti-pot. There was a always tease me, "Oh, you're just a stoner hippie," and I gave him cannabis oil, and now he don't have seizures no more.
But you did reaffirm that you are still just a stoner hippie, though.
Oh, no. I am a stoner hippie, but occasionally I get up and try to act right. Did you see me and Jamin on the news the other night?
Right. Well, I don't know. It's just, I think it's amazing that we live in a country where you can be criminally charged for transporting a product across state lines to go save someone's life, but you transport heroin and opiates, things with codeine or cocaine in them, all part of the cane family, and you transport these things all the time to pharmacies like Walgreens and stuff like that. They're doing the same thing in Colorado. And if you transport this outside of the state to go help a child or to go help a family, one, you're putting the child's risk of being taken from the state, which ultimately the child will probably die, and you're likely to be thrown in prison and even have your parental rights stripped of you simply for trying to save your child's life. It's amazing that we live in a country that it unjustifiably says we're free, but if you choose to free yourself of the pain of watching your child die by treating them in a different way, you're now a criminal.
A American soldier dies every 22 minutes from suicide in America. In the Colorado Springs area, many of these veterans have turned to marijuana over pills, and they are no longer killing themselves. Our government seems to think that it is a good idea to give these veterans who are trying to kill people pills that say may cause hallucinations, homicidal or suicidal thoughts. Yeah, that's exactly who should be taking that kind of fucking pill. Or I could just roll up a doobie and turn on some Van Morrison and they'll feel better.
That is one that definitely blows my mind. I sit back and I go, you expect these guys to come back from a war and take a bunch of pills and active drugs that that are not natural, and then and you hope, I say hope, you hope that this will help them. And like you said, the side effects are like, multiple personalities and hearing voices in their head and just weird arbitrary shit like that. And you can't help but think, first, feel bad for them, but two, think, what are you doing? You're giving a trained killer something that's going to make him hear voices to tell him to kill people. What is wrong with you?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you understand completely.
Oh, I do, because I know these people, and I suffer from PTSD, not derived from any war or any battle like that, but I've had it my whole life, which unfortunately is the root of a lot of my problems. But we'll just leave it at that. But or was the root of a lot of my problems. I'm taking control back. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But was the root of a lot of my problems. And so I can only imagine, like, I've met so many vets that just have, like, heroin, methamphetamine, this addiction. And then the ones that either whether they have those problems or not, or whether they don't, but they medicate through cannabis. The ones that medicate through cannabis when they're on cannabis, seem to be the most level-headed and stable.
Yes. Well, I mean, taking pills, period, makes people not right. They act weird and mean, usually very, very mean. And
right. Like, people get all like weird on pills, and like you said, they're very angry. I don't want to put business out there of people in my life that I've seen this go down with, but let's just say that there's some people in my life that sometimes they just pop up and they're just so angry about nothing, and I'm just like, God, was that what I was like? Because thank God I'm clean.
Yeah, I don't like pills, especially being from Florida. The pill epidemic was hit harder in Florida than any other state. I mean, the pills were so out of control that they were actually being shipped back to Kentucky on like the hillbilly highway or some craziness like that, and to just watch people turn into zombies, and every single family I know was touched in such a negative light, and yet our government thinks that that's okay. My son has sensory processing disorder, which is a type of autism. He never stops moving, ever, even in his sleep. And they're talking about putting my little boy when he was like 3 and 4 years old on stuff like Xanax. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? You want to get my child at 3 years old addicted to benzodiazepines? That's not.
Xannies? That's not okay.
Yeah, but it's just heartbreaking that these doctors know better. I think as the American public, we should start suing the doctors for pushing pills. All they are is legal drug dealers. I will never. I mean, maybe if I break my arm or something, but other than that, there is nothing a Western doctor could tell me that I would believe. I've seen too much badness. I've seen too much hurt, and doctors lie to make a profit, and I'm not interested in that anymore.
I was devastated when I went to the ER after the rollover accident that I was in with Jesse and them, and I was devastated when they actually intravenously treated me with morphine after I asked Penrose, Maine not to. But there's no record. Yeah. There's no record of that though. Bet that shit. Just saying.
Yeah, morphine's no joke.
Believe me, I contacted a lawyer and everything over it because it was that serious. But because Memorial Hospital took the same course of action to treat me the same exact way, I don't think that I can do much about it. But you know, that's something that we probably shouldn't discuss openly too much, because it is something that's being considered with my attorneys and stuff like that. And so, and it's all part of a bigger, you know, court case that involves, you know, the injuries that me and one of my friends sustained in the accident. So it's probably better that until everything's settled, we probably not talk about that yet.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
But I do have something we can talk about. First off, you're gonna like this article. This is from cannabisnow.com or cannabisnowmagazine.com. They're online, and it's called, what's that?
I'm just being silly. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. It's called Stiletto Stoners: Why More Women Are Choosing Cannabis Over Alcohol. I know why. Because the same freak that come out when you drinking is the same freak that come out when you stinking. And most people don't know that.
Listen, I love to drink. I'm not ever going to down drink. But there are some people that just should not drink because they turn into assholes.
Oh, absolutely.
And
please don't drink. Do me a favor. Please don't ever drink if you're a dick or you turn into a dick. If you turn into a dick one time drinking, there's only 3 things you can do. Either don't drink, change the people you're around because something's triggering you, or you need to get help because it's you. And I can promise you the latter of the 2, or the latter of the 3 is it's you.
I mean, honestly, I could only smoke pot any day. If I smoke, I could sit here and smoke a gram of wax. I'm still going to get up. I'm going to go hike up the incline. I'm going to put in 20, 30 miles. No problem. I can't sit here and want to get smashed drunk and do the same.
Right.
And, you know, I much rather be out there on top of a mountain, you know, on top of the road, showing how big my balls are. And
how big my balls are. You're such a... I love you. I really do love you to death. I swear, you kill me. I got to show the world how big my balls are. They're man-sized balls, bitches. Don't get it twisted. Just because they're inside.
I have been like killing it on the rock climbing lately, and I just feel
like you on beast mode, huh? I'm a solid rock. You can climb anytime you want.
But no, I mean, smoking pot is so much better. Me and a couple of our mutual friends went camping. We brought the kids and everything, and we're out in the middle of the forest, in this aspen forest, smoking pot and teaching the kids to do yoga. You know,
we have the kids. Don't get about potheads. Did you hear what she just said, people? She just said, we went camping and we got stoned out of our minds, not the kids, the adults, and then we went and did yoga with the kids. That was like me. I used to get stoned as shit, and then I do P90X with my kids in the living room and work out and have them busting their ass, getting my son ready for football season. Just don't go grocery shopping high. My cousin's in the studio with me right now, and she's like, just don't go. No, listen, let me tell you the story, okay? Here's what happened. Well, see, what happened was, you already know it's going to be a good story because that's how it starts. What happened was, I gave this fool like $80 or something like that to go to the grocery store just to get meat. She was supposed to go pick up meat. So we had already went grocery shopping for all that other shit. She was just supposed to go get meat. This fool comes back with a trunk and the back seat full of groceries, talking about I spent $200. And we smoked out right before she left.
I understand your struggle. I really do.
Hey, when it comes to like what I tell people, when it comes to effing up and over shopping when you're stoned, let me tell you the facts. If you haven't gotten high and went and bought a bunch of shit you didn't need, and then at the end of the month you're like doing like, hey guys, we're doing like Hostess snack cakes and ramen for dinner tonight. If you haven't done that, then you're not a real pothead.
Are you in my kitchen right now? If you don't have like 4 different kinds of cheese in your refrigerator.
Hold on, time. I think we have a developing story. So you called in. You're taking the day off?
Yes.
Uh-oh. See, look. it was Kelly's idea. Well, it was my idea to go to the beach. Okay, but my cousin Kelly says, I said, I don't know if I'm gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna go. I was like, I just don't know if I'm feeling it. And she's like, you have to go to the beach. You're off. So I was like, all right, fine, I'm gonna go. So now she called in to go to the beach.
It's so nice.
Are you still with me?
I want to go to the beach and it'd be nice.
You know what I need to do, Presence, is I need to like, do you have Periscope?
No.
Okay, you need to get Periscope first off because it's awesome. And you can do like live video feeds. So like I just go to the beach and I just like record live video of me at the beach, rubbing it in.
But you're rubbing what at the beach? I don't know if you should do that, honey. That's against the law.
Oh, I did it in the ocean though. On some real shit. Broad daylight, swam out where no one could see me and her and just went at it.
Listen, I've had sex on Clearwater Beach in the ocean in the middle of the day. It wasn't my fault. Yeah.
I think I got it in at Treasure Island, if I remember right.
It wasn't my fault. What had happened was, is I went to Blue Ridge and I drank a bunch of margaritas, and the margarita
was here we go.
And I love tequila. Let's get drunk.
I shot a tequila last night. I was feeling good. I was feeling myself last night. Let me tell you.
You were feeling yourself. Again, I don't know if that's something you want to make public.
Yes, I do want to make it public. Everybody knows I'm a freak. No.
I'm sorry. I'm a dirty old man. I'll try to behave.
I'm like, listen, hey, if you ain't feeling me, then I'm feeling me.
Somebody's gonna be feeling me.
Somebody's touching up on this here.
Oh my god. So, that's like a real problem in Colorado. Everybody in Colorado is so amazingly beautiful. Like everybody here is in shape and goes and does stuff, and you just want to look at them, and then you think dirty thoughts, and then you want them to touch you, but then you remember you're not a whore, and then you're left in the shower by yourself with dabs.
That sounds amazing. The shower with dabs.
Yes. Listen, shower, dabs, the shower, and a detachable shower.
Oh God, women use the detachable shower head phenomenon, as I'm going to call it.
It's great. We really don't need you men for anything. Like
I kind of like understand that though. I get that. You guys don't really need us.
No.
Here's the thing: is I want to let me give you some girl power with this one. With cannabis legal in 23 states, Washington D.C. so 24 junctures or whatever, rolling a joint or pulling on a bong has become increasingly more socially acceptable as a recreational lifestyle choice. No wonder then that more and more women are putting down the booze and picking up the pipe. In just the past 4 years, Maria Claire magazine has featured an article on the Stiletto Stoners phenomenon. Television networks from NBC to CNN have dedicated airtime to marijuana moms, and a woman touting herself as the Martha Stewart of marijuana has capitalized on her Beverly Hills status to glamorize weed. What?
Don't say her name. Don't give her the publicity. She hates dabs.
Oh, you're like, I'm against this woman.
I am. She was on the radio in Toledo talking about if you do dabs, you're freebasing. I'm like, bitch.
If you do dabs, freebasing? Hold on now. Okay, so I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. In her defense, the first time I ever saw a dab was opening night at Speakeasy, but it wasn't a traditional dab with the the way we do it with the electrical dabbers, all that. This guy had a long tube of glass and a blowtorch and a mirror, looking like he was straight doing hot rails or something. Like I was like, I walked in there and I walked out like, niggas is doing meth up in here.
That's so funny. When David first moved to I roll cones because I have arthritis. And for those that don't know, when you roll a cone, they come with straws cut in half that looked like how a cocaine sniffing straw would look.
Oh yeah, to keep it from collapsing in on itself.
Yeah, like he comes in and there's just like all these little straws laying around. He starts screaming at me, "What the fuck are you doing? Are you out of your mind? I'm sitting here in rehab." I was like, "But it's for the weed."
So you technically, haven't you been a Stiletto Stoner for a long time?
Me, I've been smoking weed since I was 13, and I'm 25 plus now.
She ain't gonna tell us. I think I remember how old you are, but I ain't gonna put you on blast because I'm not a jerk. You can't do that. That's messed up if I do that.
Yeah, I would not be real thrilled. Let's just say I'm old enough to have an almost adult daughter. So there's that.
Did you say an adult boner? What?
An adult, yes, an adult boner. It's huge. Don't
Stupid.
stop it. Don't stop it.
I know. I've been smoking weed since I was 12 years old, and I will say that I don't think you should smoke pot at 12. I think you could ingest it and be fine because the way it reacts with the body is different than the way it reacts with being inhaled. But ingestion, I think, would be fine if you had to have it under 12. But if you're not like 17, 18 years old, you really shouldn't smoke too much or even too often because the brain is still developing at that time. They say once your brain's fully developed, you're good. You're safe, it's okay, but prior to that, you are risking, messing with the way shit's wired.
Well, it's not that I have a problem with people underage ingesting cannabis that was like in a controlled situation. If your kid's 16 and you're out camping and you're teaching your kid to fish, you give them a puff off a bowl for their first hit ever. I don't have a problem with that. Now, if that same 16-year-old kid is skipping school, running around blowing blunts, I am not okay with that situation whatsoever. Many of us were raised in a time where it was very normal when you got to be a teenager that you have a beer or a drink with your parents. And I'm alive. I'm fine. I mean, I might come off sometimes like a hothead, but I actually really do go out and speak in front of Senate and committee hearings and everything else. And I had a few beers. I smoked a little pot when I was younger, and guess what? I'm not some slow life.
Well, I think that's one thing that definitely sets us apart from the average pothead. The average pothead just goes to work every day, smokes weed. They're functioning stoners, as we call them. They just go to work every day. They smoke pot and they do all that. They're not like us. Like you speak in front of public officials. I speak with public officials. I interview public officials that are either for and against, and they're the process of being a talk show host is part of that. Is you're reporting. So I've done the whole interview stuff with the politicians, stuff like that, and yeah, I'm pretty much stoned there. When my boss said something to me the other day, and it cracked me up because I walked in and I was just and I was doing whatever, and I was actually sober. I wasn't even stoned. And then I said something like, "Man, who smokes weed all day?" or something like that. And she was like, "You do. You high right now?" or something like that. I forget what she said exactly, but it basically was the gist of it. I just started busting up laughing because I was like, they don't even know I look high when I'm not high.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there has never been a time in probably the last 3 years if somebody has run into me or seen me where I have not consumed or had a massive amount of cannabis in my system. And I'm not sitting there giggling eating Doritos all day. I actually get up, I do my stuff, I take care of everything. I handle my business.
See, the real Stiletto moms, the shout out to the real Stiletto mom, because the real Stiletto mom be high as shit and still get out of bed and go do what she gotta go do. Pill popping mom, I guarantee you ain't getting out of bed till like 11 o'clock. You already at school.
Listen, I had a sinus infection and I took NyQuil for the first time in years, taking any kind of anything that wasn't pot really, and I was so fucking trash. I was sitting on my couch giggling, rocking back and forth, and everybody that stopped by was just like, "Oh my god, what are you on?" And I'm like, "NyQuil's good shit, man."
That's me. That's the beauty of it is you can judge me all you want for using cannabis, but Where I'll always argue back is the same thing. Like I don't even take. I think the last time I took something was I got really sick, like really bad sick. Like I was shivering and like it was bad. Like I felt like I had the damn flu, but I was running a real high temperature and everything. It was about maybe a month ago. But anyway, so it was like about a month ago I took ibuprofen trying to help break my fever because I was literally waking up like outlined in sweat. Like there looked like a body was there drawn in chalk from sweat. Like this is when it made us sweat to death right here. The evidence is right there. Look, look, he was sleeping in a fetal position. You know he was sick as shit.
That is so.
I was though. I mean, I haven't. For most people that don't know me, is I don't get sick very often, but when I do, man, it's bad. I got a pretty solid immune system for one. And then I think two is my metabolism and being going and going and going. One, when you're always going and going and going, you get exposed to a lot of minor amounts of the same types of viral bacteria or bacteria that create these sicknesses and illnesses that we catch. So when you get a minor exposure to something like that, you build up immunities for the big hit if it ever comes. So I don't really get sick just by virtue of being a people person and being out a lot. I actually get exposed to more germs. It's kind of a fun way of inoculating yourself. At least you can get drunk when you do it.
Right. I've been trying to avoid the people and stay up in the mountains, but I mean, every time I go to an event, you're around so many people. I
get
think
sick,
about this.
Whenever you go to events, you get sick after.
I do because I want to hit. I know it's wrong.
Expose yourself to people. You should expose yourself to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, baby, I'd love to expose myself to you.
Hey, look, you're not going to be the only old dirty man on this show today. Okay, it's going to be both. But no, seriously, like you don't expose yourself to people, so then you get sick. See, me, I'm like I said, it's like a fortress. I'll take a beat. Most people don't even try, and that's kind of the way I get.
Yeah, well, I expose myself to people. I fucking get kidnapped by the police, or when I expose myself to people, when I have to go in front of committees and explain shit.
She said, "Man, I gotta testify more than Barack Obama does."
Real, man. But that was the case at the beginning. But I was won yesterday. Yay! I fought the power and I won. All charges dismissed.
Oh yeah. So I didn't say anything on Facebook because I almost forgot about it. Thank you for bringing it up. But what was sort of the gist of that as we get closer to the end of the show? Then I'm going to end the show and we'll finish talking about whatever you said you want to talk to me about that you can't talk to me about on live TV, radio. So that's fine. But anyway, see, I remember I keep stuff in mind. But so what happened though? Because I saw it, and I liked the post because you said we beat the man or whatever it was, and I was like, but I was going to ask you what it was if you were comfortable talking about it.
Well, in our town, the cops are so such slackers, I can't think of the word I want to use, that they had to hire private security. The private security, the first thing they would hear was looking inside of my friend's vehicle. And, of course, I'm not going to let that go because I'm a big mouth. What are you doing looking at my girl?
Oh, God.
Car? And, so I had to go and sit down with the prosecutor yesterday, and I had to explain to the prosecutor I didn't appreciate the security guard snooping through my friend's stuff, and she made me promise that I will not yell at them anymore, and if I have any more problems with the town police or the security guards, I will come to her rather than berating them in the middle of the street.
Wow. That's funny. I dig that. That's the role I try to take. I'm like, look, don't piss off the police. They shoot people. You don't have to be black. I promise you. I got many cases where it was where the suspect was just a white kid or a white person. Trust me, the cops will kill your ass. If you ain't a cop, you ain't safe. So with that said,
the cops hate me. As you know, my daughter got into quite a bit of trouble.
Yep.
And
say why. We'll just say that she was in trouble.
people. And when she got into trouble, I had a misunderstanding with the police where my daughter's father told the chief of police and the entire police force to go fuck themselves. And called the chief of police to go stuff in front of the mayor, the cops will then harass you.
Yes, this is what I say is rather than piss off the police, I choose to take the comical route. Like you, if I'm not, I don't want anybody to ever go do this, but let's just say that if you were to speak out to some of the corrections officers, when I had to go on a few overnights visits, a building to which I had no choice to leave. If you want to ask them or the, gentlemen who were nice enough to give me a ride in their car to this hotel, then what you would find is that I'm pretty funny. Like they were like, "Are you on something right now?" And at the time, I actually wasn't. So I was like, "Nah, man, I'm legit. I'm straight." And they're like, you just really go off like that all the time?" I said, "You ain't never heard me on the radio, have you, bro? I go hard to the paint." I said, "I went so hard to the paint that it was better off that we went to internet only." Because I'll be on that Howard Stern shit. I'll be hitting on my guests just for fun, whatever.
Yeah, like I come to an understanding with the meter maids in town too. The one male meter maid, I think that meter maids are nothing but parasites on society. They're going around stealing your money basically, and so of course I have to give them a hard time. But one meter maid, after asking him, do you really tell your friends what you do for a living, or do you tell them like you're a hooker or something? Because being a hooker would be better than a meter maid. I tried to invite him over for a beer and a toast the other day. He just waved and smiled. I hope he doesn't tell my call.
You really flirt with the meter maid?
I did flirt with the meter maid, but I'm trying to be nice to the meter maid and get him to see the error of his fucking horrible life. Like,
well, talk about, first off, if you're a guy and you're a meter maid, you've already been demasculated to maid. I mean, think about that. If you're going to be a meter maid cop, at least be a chick, because that way you aren't being demasculated like you are when you're a man. Not that men can't be maids, but they're called housekeeping.
I mean, their whole job in life is to get out of bed and harass people and take their money for shopping. Like, oh, let me park my car here. Go spend some money in the town. Oh, you know what you're going to do while you're enjoying a meal with your wife? I'm going to give you a ticket. Like, I mean, I couldn't even start to tell my friends that's what I did for a living. I would be so embarrassed.
Oh, out here you got to pay at every beach to park. And my idea of a solution for that was simple. I said, why don't we just go ahead, and if you live in the city, you're paying city and state, well, there's no state tax here, but you're paying city taxes through your property tax, or you buy stuff at the store. There's taxes getting taken from you one way or another. I don't give a hell. I don't give a hell to the damn who's taking them. My point being is, if you live in that township, like, I shouldn't have to pay to park on Gulfport Beach, which you don't there anyway, but I'm saying, like, or St. Pete Beach or whatever. And but if you're not a resident, you can't get that special parking permit. So then you got to pay. So the tourists and the visitors are paying, but I feel like we use the beach the most and we get ripped off.
Yeah, like I like the incline, the bar and stuff. I don't want to always walk up there and drive my car and then do the incline. But I live here. I shouldn't have to pay $5 to park in a town I live in.
Don't park further down by the park, and then take the free trolley thingy up there. That's what I do. It drops you off right at the Cog Railroad, or maybe right down the street from the Cog Railroad, but it ain't far.
Like all your backpacking shit and stuff, like.
Man, you're such a sissy fool. I miss the incline. There's one thing that I do miss. I said I wouldn't miss the mountains, but what I meant by that is I wouldn't miss the mountains blocking the sun all, early as hell during the day, so it's always cold. Even in the summer, it's chilly at night because of how quick the sun goes down compared to everywhere else where there's no mountains. 2, I wouldn't miss the mountains because I don't miss snow. 3, but now I will take some of that back and say that I do miss hiking. But I did say one of the top, I think when I said the top 3 things I'll miss when I leave are my kids, sushi ring 2, sushi place, because that's my joint, and then And then the incline. This was outside of friends and all that. This was like, you know, my kids shouldn't have even been one because it was supposed to be places I missed, but I said my kid's house because I would miss picking them up, you know. But anyway, well, we're at the end of the show, so I'm about to peace out, deuce out to all you cats, because otherwise you guys are just gonna be on conversation, and we don't want you in it. So I'm out. High tide stick. Peace. This was a hey man. Don't forget to wake and bake with your boy. Hey man. We're gonna move the show back a few hours on the days when I can, so that way we can wake and break and stuff like that. Ha! I got your back. So you know that's a shout out to the West Coast and the mountain time zones, because I know 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. is early, so I'm trying to move it forward here, which is good for me anyway. And then y'all can have a show later. So I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, all of it. G Plus, Google Plus, all that stuff. At of course, High Tide Stick. Treasy the boss. Peace.